Yo, what up, friends? An agreement reached by the WNBA. Yes, wow, what a long time coming this was. So, y'all, when we're thinking about this WNBA labor disagreement, which, by the way, MLB is not too far off either. They're going to have a labor disagreement of their own after this year, talking about Venezuela winning the championship. After 90 plus hours of marathon talks, after months of not talking to each other and only going back and forth in the media, after the fallout that they had between WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and the players, specifically Nafisia Collier, a few months back, finally came to an agreement. They still have to formalize the term sheet, but big picture is the negotiations have been concluded and the season will start on time, which is supposed to be April the 19th is when, that's training camp is April the 19th is when that opens. Actually, let me go ahead and just run through everything with you here that was agreed to. First of all, they will have only 2 months to hold an expansion draft. And you say expansion, yes, they are actually having 2 new teams, and this is actually, I'm actually going to talk about this as well when we talk about the NBA in a second, because the NBA is also talking about expansion after this year, which would obviously take a couple years to do. But anyways, once they are able to do that, and the WNBA is doing the same, they have to actually have drafts for the teams. They have to have expansion drafts where the teams can pluck players from other teams, so on and so forth. That's how it's done. Anyways, the WNBA is set to expand to 18 teams by 2030, which is going to be, first it's going to be Portland and Toronto are going to join the league. And then Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia will follow. That will expand them to 18 teams by 2030. The expansion draft for the new teams was supposed to take place back in December, but with the labor disagreement, they couldn't have it. So now they have to expedite this and figure out how to get this all done in the next 2 months before the season is supposed to start. What else did the players get? Because the huge thing about this, right, was the revenue sharing. So what did the players actually get when it was all said and done? Well, first of all, the salary cap will start at now $7 million a year. The average revenue share is said to be roughly 20% across the life of the deal. So obviously with the new TV agreement that was reached last year, the media deal with the WNBA, their income, their revenue is only going to increase year over year for the next few years. So with that, the actual revenue share for the players will as well, and that will be 20% of whatever that is that the revenue is coming in for the WNBA. Also, Supermax contracts now introduced starting at $1.4 million. Reports are that the Las Vegas Aces are set to offer 2025 MVP Asia Wilson that Supermax deal as soon as possible. A lot of other things in here. We're still starting to hear the ripple effects of the other things that are coming out, but just know that the players are getting paid way more. It's coming out to about 3 to 4 times more what they were before. So they've got to be happy with that. Could they always have gotten more? Sure. But I guess at the same time, at some point, you've got to kind of, bite the bullet and make an agreement. Do I still think they're worth more than that? I do personally. But again, you don't want to lose out on a whole season because then you lose that value and you lose all that good camaraderie you've built up for the fans, the morale, just like MLB did back in the strike in 93, 94, and just like they're risking with another strike next year. So between April 1st and April 6th, they'll have that expansion draft. Where teams will be able to submit protected player lists, and then they'll have the draft itself. It has not been announced yet. Qualifying app offers will go out April 7th, April 8th, followed by negotiating period for agency April 9th to April 11th. The free agency signing period will be April 12th to April 13th, and the collegiate draft, the WNBA draft, will be held April 13th in New York City. The training camp scheduled to open April 19th. So as you can see, they've got to rush everything within the next 31 days. So a lot for them to do. And you know what? I was going to go through the list of free agents with you, but when I actually read the list of free agents, all I understood was that every single woman in the WNBA, when it comes to business, is just smart as hell. That's all I know. They are so smart because all these free agents were keen enough, were astute enough, were knowledgeable and researched enough to make sure their contracts ended before this free agency period so they could all get in on the new windfall from this agreement. So, hey, shout out to all those ladies, Breanna Stewart, Asia, literally all of them. They all set up themselves to be free agents at this point in time so they can make the money. And I cannot ask for a smarter business decision than that.
Subscribe on YouTube at Ball and Buds for sports and entertainment live streams and videos. Boom.